Case cover collision. Each and every week, I choose a different movie or TV show, because today is going to be a TV show, a different TV show or movie, and look at the case covers for that property and put the case covers against each other in a battle to see which one is the best, which one is the winner on case cover collision, and compare them all, looking at these covers in really detail inspections each and every week. So this week I'm going to be discussing the TV show The Last of Us, looking at 4 different case covers for that, a DVD one and 4 different 4K covers, HMV exclusive one as well. Let's just talk about The Last of Us first of all, briefly. I'm not going to get into spoilers because I'll be honest with you, I've not seen the ending of it yet. I've only watched a couple of episodes of, I think about three or 4 episodes in, and it's not that I didn't enjoy it. I just kind of lost track of, and there was that much to watch over the past few weeks. I've got some time over the next couple of weeks. I've got some time sort of penciled out in the calendar where I'm gonna watch all of The Last of Us from the start to finish. I'm gonna start fresh, watch that, and watch House of the Dragon finally. Watch all that as well. But yeah, really enjoyable show from what I've watched of it. Really great show. Never played the video games, but I think it was a really a beloved video game series, and from what I've heard from people, it was a really well done adaptation of that video game series as well. So let's look at the case covers for this TV show. First of all, we're going to look at the DVD case cover of The Last of Us Season 1. And the first one, you got Ellie and Joel, the 2 main characters here. And they're just kind of, Joel looking into the distance, looking into to the side, and Ellie's looking straight down the camera, looking at something in the distance, maybe one of the monsters. And then you've got it's very much like a black fade from the left to the right, and then in the distance of the right, you can see all the sort of the monster sort of weeds on the floor, on the walls. I don't know what you call it, the sort of the plantation of the monsters and stuff like that. All the creepy stuff on the walls. And it looks really, looking at this, it looks like a horror sort of a movie or TV show. And it's, I think it's very fitting for what this TV show is. Then underneath the character of Ellie, you've got in white, bold, big text, The Last of Us. And really, really bold text that really stands out here. You know where it is. And I think a lot of people who, I think this is great for fans of the video games. They see this, and I think straight away, I'm pretty sure this is the same cover as the video game. I may be wrong. I'm pretty sure this is the same cover, and they've kind of just done a shot for shot. I may be wrong here, but this is a really good cover. I like it. It's simple, but I think it works for this. It just indicates that it's something creepy going on in this TV show if you don't know anything about it. And I like the good use of colours here. Very dark, but it matches the tone of the TV show. It looks the colours they've used. It's not bright. It's a very dark, gritty show, this, and I think it works really well. The colours, the greens in there, I like it. Next up, we're going to go to the 4K, the standard 4K of Last of Us Season 1, and this is a very different cover. So we got the city landscape here. I don't know what city this is, I'll be honest. I'd have to rewatch the show again, and probably very obvious to me which city it is, but not at this moment in time. But you're looking here, and Ellie's walking forward, and Joel is behind her. They're both looking backwards, and you see a big long shot of the city landscape, all this decayed city. It reminds me of Planet of the Apes, the TV show, where the cities are all just decayed, and it's there's all greenery, all going up the buildings, loads of buildings destroyed and half standing and stuff like that. It just looks like a world that was just destroyed, and this is obviously a decayed world that is now, for 20-30 years on, has been ruled by these monsters, and it's just been destroyed. I like this cover though. I think it's a great cover. It really, again, it just shows that you look at this cover and you think it looks creepy, it looks like a horror type show, but also it looks like they're living in this sort of post-apocalyptic world, which it is. And then you kind of get the feel of what you're going to get here. It's these survivors in this world. How did they survive? The Last of Us. And it's the same text, again, a bit small this time, in the distance, and it's behind the characters this time, whereas it was at front last time. But I gotta be honest, I think this cover works a bit better. I think the lighter colours in there and just seeing a bit more of the world around it and seeing that more world that has been broken adds a bit more punch to this cover. And I really like this cover. And you can just see the setting of this world here really adds a bit more power to, for me, as someone who'd want to buy this over the DVD. So far, I'm going to go with a 4K standard as my favourite cover so far, but we still got 2 more to look at. Let's have a look now next at The Last of Us Season 1 4K Steelbook. This is very different again, and I love this when creators of artwork for case covers really go in different directions for each and every one. This one is very different. It's a black cover where you've got one of these monsters, the monsters of the show. I think they're called Twitches, I believe. I hope they are. I should have done my notes. I didn't do my notes. But these, well, let's say they're called Twitches. And we've got this similar text behind, but it's all like on one line this time. The Last of Us at the top of the screen. Black background, but then you've got this squished monster and all like of its brains and stuff all around the rest of the screen, the cover. And this is great. And it looks, I think this is a scene in the actual show early on when they look, I think they're going in down like a tunnel or something, and they see one of them just splattered everywhere, and it's dead. But that's just like a tease for the monsters to come, and you're just like, wow, that looks horrifying. And I'm surprised they've actually got away with it because it looks quite scary. I imagine like this is not going to be a cover that kids are going to be wanting to look at because it's very not the nicest cover in the world. But again, it tells you what you're going to get here. It's a horror type show, a science fiction horror type show, creepy show, monsters. I like it, but for me, it doesn't tell you what you're going to get from the human characters here, and it doesn't tell you it's going to be a survival type show. It just tells you there's going to be a big monster in it. So for me, I do like the contrast. I like the black, and I like the monster. I think the look is great. But the standard 4K wins through so far. I think the standard 4K beats the Steelbook. I think it's a much better cover. And you're seeing the survivalist. You're seeing, you got 2 people surviving in this world that has been destroyed 10 times over by these monsters. So let's go now to the final case cover on case cover collision today. And we go to The Last of Us HMV exclusive 4K of Season 1 of The Last of Us. And again, we've got a different look now. We get The Last of Us. It's down at one of these decayed streets in the city. In the distance, we see very small at the top of the screen, Joel and Ellie walking in the distance and walking in this city. So you don't really get a close-up shot. You can't really see Pedro Pascal here, and I forget the female actress. What was the female? I can't remember. The girl from what was she in? Game of Thrones. She was. God, I can't even think of her name now. But anyway, we see them in the distance, and underneath we see it's kind of like The Last of Us sort of like painted onto the path, so it's kind of like on an angle this time. And it's really good because it kind of looks, it adds a like 3D look to this cover, and kind of, I like the look of it. Again, you've got like the weaves of the monsters, like the plants, like the underneath, all like the roots of the monsters going up and following them. It's like something's lurking, following Ellie and Joel on this story, and you got this decayed city again. Very dark colours here, like black. It looks like a very black and white colours, but then you get the weed colours, the roots in like this brown colour and a bit of greenery in the top, but not very much. Very black and white cover, very minimal colour-wise here. Now, I do like this cover. I think for me, this is one where it is a very comparable one to the second one, the 4K standard. It shows that, there's 2 survivors in this world that has been ruined by, what's this monster, this virus, this thing in this world. Is it the best cover, though? Is it better than the 4K standard? Well, I'm going to say, for me, the HMV exclusive is good, but the standard 4K is the best one for me. So today's winner of Case Cover Collision is The Last of Us Season 1 Standard 4K. I think it's great. I think you get a good look at Pedro Pascal and Ellie and Joel, the 2 main characters here. It's just seeing that decayed world. You're seeing 2 survivalists in this world, and you're thinking, what's going on in this world? What has happened to this world? What are these 2 people doing? What is their quest? It makes it interesting to me. I like the look of it. And for me, it is the winner of this week's edition of Case Cover Collision.